a real short and sweet video blog for you. A little shorter than most of them, but it's still going to be useful, I promise. I want to talk about a topic that wasn't brought about through an email, just something that I wanted to clarify. I think there's a lot of value in understanding the different types of bodies or statures that we all possess. William Sheldon, back in the 70s, discovered a classification for 3 different body types. He created these 3 categories to help classify, okay, this guy is probably this type of body type, this guy is this type of body type, this guy is this body type, to help us in terms of creating a diet plan and a workout plan. These 3 categories are an ectomorph, a mesomorph, and an endomorph. So ecto, meso, and endomorph. 3 categories to help classify our body types. Now, with that being said, you don't necessarily fall into just one category. You're not 100% this, 100% that, 100% that. There's usually some overlap. In addition to that, if you are once an ectomorph, that doesn't mean you're that for the rest of your life. There's a lot of times you might be, most commonly we see, you see an endomorph and they turn into an ectomorph. And I know this is great. I'm basically speaking a different language right now if you're not familiar with these terms, but I promise I'm going to dig into this and clarify exactly what each one of these are. Let's talk about ectomorph. Ectomorph, guys, is the attributes of an ectomorph is a guy or a girl that is typically tall in stature. They have long limbs, they're lanky, very thin, and they have a hard time putting on size. They're that guy or girl just constantly going to the gym, and they're giving it their all, putting forth the effort, but they're not seeing any results. Constantly just feeling like they're the hamster on the wheel going nowhere. They're putting the work in, but they're not getting anywhere. And they slam calories, and they don't see any results, but that's just the body type. If you're one of those individuals trying to gain some size, let's say, there's some ways around it. What you'd want to do, for an example, I go into greater detail for the ectomorphs, because it's very common for an ectomorph to struggle with putting on size. I do a longer, more in-depth video if you take a look through my video blogs, but just high-level overview if you're catching this for the first time. If you're an ectomorph trying to gain some size, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to increase the rest in between your sets and your exercises. So if you're typically resting 45 seconds, you might want to bump it up around 2 minutes. You're also going to want to focus primarily on compound lifts, not secondary lifts where you're doing the shapers. Compound lifts, bench press, squat, deadlift, and then doing and holding off on the secondary lifts like concentration curls, pec deck, etc. In addition to that, you're going to want to increase your calories. I know you probably think you're eating a lot now, but if you're not seeing results, then you're not eating enough. There needs to be a evident surplus in your calories. Okay, but it doesn't mean get big, eat big, get big, and that's a dangerous ideology. What you want to do is, yes, eat big to get big, but you want to eat clean as well. Don't use it as an excuse to slam McDonald's, Wendy's, and Arby's every single day, slamming 5,000 calories of crap. Okay, so that's an ectomorph. Let's talk about a mesomorph. A mesomorph, guys, is it's that guy we all want to be. He's already athletic, great muscle definition. It's kind of natural to him. Can pretty much eat what he wants for the most part, monitor it here and there. He has a sound lift and light cardio. By the way, ectomorphs, no cardio. No cardio. Our body, if you're an ectomorph, is constantly burning calories, which is why you're slim 24/7. So there's no cardio regimen for you. The only cardio you're doing is within your lift. But a mesomorph, already athletic, has a nice balance, very well balanced of cardio and working out, lifting weights. Has an easy time putting on muscle, easy time putting on fat though as well. So there has to be a nice balance for the mesomorph. They're typically average height, but they have that muscle development already. It's kind of naturally developed. Probably already has a great core, and we all know that athletic guy or girl. Third body type, third category is an endomorph. Endomorph is typically shorter, but it doesn't always have to be, but typically shorter and stocky. They're known for being stocky, kind of broad shoulders. Everything is kind of rounded out, not a whole lot of cuts and definition. Everything is probably big, but it's round, not a whole lot of muscular development, at least the appearance of well-defined, well-developed muscle. So that's a mesomorph. So, some more attributes and characteristics of their day-to-day. They are going to have to be heavily reliant upon cardio because their body holds fat more than an ectomorph and a mesomorph. They're constantly battling their calorie intake, having to monitor it. Can't go over because they're definitely going to hold that as fat. So they have to implement a sound cardio regimen. Their lifting structure also needs to be at a high intensity, high pace. They can't afford to be resting a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, because it's not enough to burn the calories that are coming in. So they have to constantly monitor their overall intensity levels and their calorie expenditure. So those are the 3 categories, guys. I'm going to keep this short. I want it to be brief and to the point. I think there's value here, and the reason why it's valuable is once you understand the category, you can obviously take the hints and start to develop your nutrition plan and your workout plan around these body types. You don't want to be an endomorph applying ectomorph type of principles and vice versa. You don't want to be the skinny guy that's doing cardio all the time because you saw a guy on YouTube talking about how much cardio he does, even though he's a mesomorph and he needs that to stay slim. Whereas you're a skinny guy, doing cardio is going to keep you skinny, if not get you skinnier. So understand the category that you fall into, utilize these tips, and go get them, guys. The transformation process is possible for any person, regardless of the body type. You might have to do a little more work on the treadmill, you might have to do a little more work in the pantry, you might have to do a little more work in the gym. But no matter what, it's possible for whichever body type you are, just different paths to the same results, guys. So go get them. I appreciate you guys watching. As always, until next time, God bless. Take care. Love you.